Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the Arlington, Texas Regional. 852 players walked in the room yesterday,
Yep.
32 walk in today. And we actually have a breakdown of those 32 decks, representing the most spots in top 32. Not really a surprise, Whitebeard.
Whitebeard. Powerful deck. We're not sure the breakdown of if it's Boat or Starbeard.
No.
I'm going to assume it's more Starbeard than Boatbeard. But I'm not surprised if maybe a couple Boatbeard just break in.
Yeah. We saw more Boatbeard on stream yesterday
We did.
than regular. In second most represented spots, Law. Now, this one actually isn't surprising to me at all because the Law decks we saw were teched very hard to beat Whitebeard. And so with Whitebeard at top representation, I'd expect the deck that beats it to be the next one. So
exactly.
Really good on the Law players pivoting to that very anti-Whitebeard strategy.
Yep.
Then we've got 5 Luffys.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's come back. I mean, at the start of the format, it was all Zora, 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 Zora. Now, I think people, much like set 1, we're kind of realizing Luffy kind of just gets a little better value. It plays similar, but just different enough to have a different matchup spread. And that matchup spread is good against Whitebeard. So, again, good deck against Whitebeard. We're going to see a lot of representation.
And speaking of Zoro, there's 4 of those as well.
Zoro, okay, not bad.
All of that is red.
Yep.
So the vast majority
Crap ton of red.
Is red.
A little bit of red,
bunch
green.
Of red.
You know.
Out of the top 32 slots, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decks that aren't red, and one of them is half red. But we'll get to him in a minute. So after that, we have 4 representations by Kinemon. Kenny cutting into the top 32 with 4 slots.
Not bad.
Not too bad. Not too surprising. We see a lot of Kenny, and we're not really seeing that much Kid. Kenny just better on the early game.
Yeah.
That Kiku on turn 1.
Very strong.
Very strong. Very strong. 3 Dofis. We saw Dofi on stream all day yesterday, and a lot of the players we saw on stream are actually these top-cut Doflamingos.
It wasn't that there was a lot of Dofi in the room. It was just that the Doflamingo players at the top tables were just they were killing it. They performed I think one of them finished in second after Swiss, and I was just like, that was really good. I mean, Dofi's coming back this format. I like it.
Good matchups against red decks.
Really good against red.
The majority is red. Let's get in there.
Got a good spread.
Need to dodge those Kennys.
Yep.
Then we have 2 more slots left. One of them, Eustace Captain Kidd.
Okay.
Sure. All right. And then the underdog.
Yeah. Our hero today.
Our hero today, right. Yeah, the underdog, the Garp.
Garp
there is
leader.
One red-black Garp in top 32.
Yes.
I think he snuck in at 32nd place.
Good for him.
If I recall correctly. So,
red, black Garp. We're going to hope to see this guy in top 16. I think interesting deck choice. Really cool to see. It's really the only unique surprise we can see in this top 32. A bunch of red, a little bit of greens. Like I'm not surprised. Of course, like some amount of Kinemon, you do expect to top because it's still a good deck. It does struggle versus Whitebeard, but it's still a good deck. And then you have the one kid. Okay, sure, whatever. But the Garp is like, whoa, was not expecting Garp to top. And now that we have it, it's kind of like, I'm kind of excited to see Garp. I hope this guy, goes on a little bit of a deep run here, maybe top 8, top 4. Let's see this guy do some work.
Absolutely. We already had our top 32 matchup picked out, and that will be Yadam on Luffy versus Mo on Dofi. So that'll be coming up very shortly. I'm hoping the Garp makes it to top 16.
I am too,
so that you and I can
commentate on that Garp matchup. Yeah,
absolutely.
But we have Yadam code Yeehaw Yadam on YouTube. Shout out Yeehaw. We saw him on stream yesterday, and he's like, he played Kid, and it was a really exciting match because it was just full aggro on both sides. Now, again, we talked about how Dofi has a pretty good matchup into the red. In the early game, you want to see those, like, there's the Jinbei promo has breathed life into Dofi because it is really good at helping on the early game. Your opponent can't just clear it, otherwise you get a free trade, but at the same time, you can use it to just clear your opponent's board. So it's just very strong early game tool at mitigating pressure. And then, of course, in the late game, you have your blockers, you have your love beams. So you're just going to the Jinbei has really given a lot. Dofi was missing out on a strong early game, and it's surprising to see what just like one card does for the deck,
Absolutely. That Jinbei is kind of like a jack of all trades sort of thing. He's not very great in respect to what it is, but when you get it off the Dofi leader, he's really good. He's got counter power, which that matters. And the bottom deck effect, removal in blue.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
It's lacking early game removal. Yeah.
That's a premium.
Sure. I don't think he's playing. I mean, we saw him yesterday. I mean, he's playing very standard Doflamingo, playing Pacifista with Bartholomew Kuma engine, playing Mihawk, Doflamingo. It's just it's
No way. The blue deck's playing Mihawk.
yeah. I mean, it's nothing crazy,
Wow.
nothing crazy new.
Stop the
But
presses.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe add a little flair here and there. That's that Jinbei prim. We're gonna add a little here, add a little there. You know what I mean? So
Yep. And then Luffy, we saw Yadam's Luffy
yeah,
yesterday. He definitely has a very more standard Luffy
standard.
build. I
Yeah,
think you would see. You've got
what I
it curves into Whitebeard.
very well.
Yeah, looking to take advantage of your early game, and
Yeah.
if your early game cannot close it out, you just start chaining Whitebeards.
Yeah, you know, the thing that Luffy has over Zoro is just that you have much more effective Don management. Cards like Nico Robin, cards like Edward Newgate 9-drop. The fact that you have to equip Don to them to get their full effects, that just works much better with the Luffy leader because his effect just pops one on there. So with Zoro, oftentimes it's not like you're never playing behind because you're the aggressor,
Yep.
but it's like if I want to equip one Don to this Nico Robin, that's one less card I have this turn to play, one less Sunny Kun I can play, one less Don I can equip to my leader essentially, and it's not like a little one-drop rush strategy. It's more of like a early to mid-game strategy. I have that early game aggression like we saw yesterday. The Luffy's on stream. They were attacking a lot, but they can also slow it down. They play Red Hawk. I can leave up for Red Hawk. I can leave up for Radical Beam. I can slam Edward Newgate a little good, and then I can use my leader effect to equip it onto my leader, and then my leader swings for 8, which is a big number. That's a big
very
number.
big number. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luffy taking more of that mid-range red strategy, kind of in the same vein as Whitebeard.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So I'm going to be interested to see how Whitebeard and Luffy compete as this continues to go forward. And definitely interested to see if the law decks are going to be able to kind of clip the wings of Whitebeard, because Whitebeard's flying high right now.
It is, yeah. You know, we saw a ton of adaptations that Law has made from set 1. Set 1, I think the Law deck that everyone kind of settled on was the 8-drop kid strategy. You know, they were playing the green strategy. Here, we're seeing like starter deck Zoro, which just gets very big very quickly. We saw starter deck Nami yesterday, one of the laws in top 32, playing starter deck Nami to make it easier to attack that leader into Whitebeard. Very smart. Again, oh, my 5K leader doesn't attack your 6K leader very well. If I play this Nami, my leader's always 6K, and I can just, okay, now I get a card out of your hand every turn versus passing every turn. Because as we know, Law loves to swing for 5K. So we make that adaptation to swing for 6K a little bit easier. Playing starter deck Law in order to untap the starter deck Zoro. Or
that's
even
probably the most pivotal card that they've added to it, because the ability to swing 12 twice
is huge.
Something that Kid had is something that Whitebeard fears. Whitebeard can go tall.
It can,
once.
Yeah.
The second swing, we saw it on stream yesterday. It
cracks,
was just too much. It was too much for Whitebeard to handle.
Okay.
And so
we'll be back very quickly, and just keep tuned. We're going to have top 32 starting now.
Yeah, we're going to pass it over to Steven and Nathan, and they're going to go ahead and commentate on top 32.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Three Swords Productions. Top 32 starting in just a moment here. Players are shuffling up. We have for round 30, or for the first round on camera, Mo playing Dofi. We saw Mo on camera, I think, twice yesterday.
I think it was just once, but
once.
I think he played the Dofi mirror yesterday.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a really grindy slog.
Yeah.
He played it super well, so I'm excited to have him back on camera. And his opponent for this round is going to be Yeehaw Yadam. We saw Yeehaw Yadam yesterday piloting Luffy.
Yeah, he was on Luffy yesterday. Won his matchup against Kid. It was a bit of a race there at the end.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty interesting match.
He played a tight game, and you know, Yadam certainly. We all know he grinds very hard for this game. So you know,
absolutely.
I'm really excited to see that this is super paying off for him. Very proud of Yadam this weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited to get into this match too. It's a kind of throwback to set 1 a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean the number of set 1 leaders that we've seen over the course of this weekend. Has been
absolutely
crazy, really unexpected, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been pretty high.
Yeah, with the power of Whitebeard, we just expect him to come down and shut out all of these set 1 leaders. But really, you know, players get creative, and they have found a way to make the leaders work for them against the Whitebeard. And so we're kind of seeing that. And the Luffy's doing really well with its Dawn efficiency against Smoker Leader, against Whitebeard, and, you know, obviously the Doflamingo, its ability just demanding that you swing for 7K, which is already profitable against pressuring the 2Ks from the Whitebeard side.
Yeah.
You know, you have just a natural matchup against Whitebeard. And so we're seeing 2 successful leaders kind of duke it out in the top cut here.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. Looks like we're resolving our first choice of Keeper Mulligan here. As a reminder, in the top, we are best of 3 today.
Yeah, that's right. So we are in for some good games today.
Yeah, we've got a long match going.
I have a lot of One Piece to be played today.
That's right. Exciting amount of One Piece.
Absolutely.
Looks like Luffy is kept there, and then we have Mo on the Dofy side going for the mulligan.
One thing to keep in mind if you're watching at home is the time in the round. So we will not have the ability to post time clock on the screen here, but we do have a judge on standby in the area. So just rest assured that time procedures will be followed.
Yeah, I think they are 60-minute rounds this time around, so
Yes. Players will have a good amount of time.
yes. All right, we resolved everything here, and Luffy is going first, starting off with the Nami.
And a beautiful Nami, too. Okay.
We get a nice little search going
okay.
ability here.
Get the rush Luffy there. That's a good pickup here.
It's pretty good. There's a lot of blockers can come out of the blue deck, so definitely not bad. But Radical Beam, also, obviously quite strong.
Yeah, we
Never upset with the late game countering power out. From the Dofy side, we could look to see something maybe like a Perona. Hope to set up something that could attack back on the Nami while also setting up the top of our deck. Also passing is completely fine. It is absolutely no problem to pass here just because there's not a lot of 2-drops or 1-drops in the deck that are that good for the Dofy side going on here. You'd hopefully set up maybe like a 3-drop Dofy blocker next turn. You could play the Pacifista, you could play a Teach, something like that, but Nico Robin's coming down.
Robin pressuring.
Yeah.
Early Doflamingos with your Otama, so you're going to get some of those Doflamingo blockers out of the way, especially Trafalgar Law, which we saw, just used many times over the course of yesterday.
Yeah. Notably, Nico Robbins will need Otama in this matchup. The only thing that it can really hit besides that would be a Perona early, and then...
Doflamingo maximizing on those 5Ks, and so Otama coming down is basically going to wipe anything. Gordon as well.
Yeah, Gordon.
We see the same ability off of the Gordon here, and he does... he is going to go for that, so... Free
pretty
kill
good.
On the Boa Hancock.
Pretty good.
Boa Hancock's ability, already turned off because it doesn't have a Dawn equipped. But, in this situation, just a free kill on the Boa Hancock's got to feel really bad for Doflamingo.
I don't know if he had a Gordon in hand prior to this, but there definitely was a Gordon that just came off of life from the attack from the Dofy.
Okay,
so
we are actually seeing a second Gordon.
Second Gordon?
Right now.
All right, so not quite as punishing then.
We have a Nami in hand as well. And Radical Beam, so we are looking pretty good on Yadam's side here.
Nami coming in for another 5K. We've counted out of 2 things. Make that 3 now from the side of Dofy.
Okay, playing a second Nami here.
Nami coming down again.
And getting aggressive with the Nami there. Realizing that, hey, Doflamingo doesn't have a lot of removal, so let's pressure him with everything we've got. That's a really clever play.
Yeah. We could go for another Radical Beam here for another bit of late game resurgence. But
Zoro.
Yeah, I think that's Zoro there,
the
which is probably pretty good here.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going with that. Perhaps the Chopper? Okay, we are going to pick up the Zoro. Oh, okay. He was considering second Nico Robin.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
With
the other Gordon.
Yes. He's considering, okay, I might actually lose my Nico Robin this turn. Nico Robin's really important to my strategy here. And we're holding the second Gordon, so let's go ahead and take the backup one. But I think he ultimately considered, I can probably just defend the Nico Robin if it actually is that critical to me.
Yes, absolutely. We do 3-drops, do see 3-drop Dopey come down, stack the top of the deck.
We see Pacifista in the mix too, so if we happen to have a Kuma off the top here, we are going to very quickly be able to also put in the Pacifista.
And the flips reveals to us Gecko Moria.
And Gecko Moria. That's going to actually just counter the Gordon in his hand, and that might have actually been the incentive he needed to see to let the Nico Robin die there.
Yeah, I think the Nico Robin served a pretty great purpose there. You got extra cards out of it, so definitely not a bad use of it by any means.
And we're just going to swing 6 right on the Gecko Moria. Pressure the hand. Now, very few cards in hand on most side here.
Yeah. Notably, the Alvida is a 2K, so we've now upgraded the 2Ks as the discard for getting out of things. So you are feeling tight on the Dofy side.
And Yadam's control of his opponent's life, too, is remarkable. We put him down to 4, and then it's just going to slow roll his opponent right out of cards in his hand. And then, maybe we take another life, get all the cards out of your hand, take another life.
Yeah. And now we see Jet Pistol come in, clear the Gecko Moria that he just attacked on. So got the little tester attack in, and then was able to fire off the Jet Pistol.
Netting 1 card, certainly powerful. And efficiently using your attacks too, because if you just swung on life, your opponent's just going to take it because they need those resources. So actually, this took a resource away from them and then got what you wanted anyways. And third Nami coming down. That is just nasty.
We are just adding cards, huh?
Okay, seeing Matt a lot of options.
Yeah, it's just pretty much snap the Luffy here. We want to be able to get through the blockers that could come down here, and we already mounted amount of pressure with these Namis on the board. So, All right, looking over to the Dofi side, what do we got? We're starting to get towards 7-drop land if we wanted to, but I don't think that's the best here in the face of a bunch of Namis. And you just had 5-drop Rush Luffy added to the other hand, plus a Zoro is still chilling over there. So we're going to attack in,
for leader ability
flip our card.
And there's the Kuma. So we did draw Pacifist for turn because that's the way we stacked it. And Kuma's here, so this is really going to punish Yidam for cleaning up the board every single turn. And an excellent way for Dofi to establish a character where he otherwise would not have one.
Looks like we're going for 4 Dawn. Could be any number of, of 1,000 things in the Dofi deck. Notably, we haven't seen any of the...
He's actually on 5 Dawn right now.
He is on 5
Dawn,
Dawn,
yes.
yes.
See Gecko Moria come back and possibly pick up a
I'll
Boa
beat him.
Hancock.
Boa Hancock, yes,
Excellent
sure.
way to refresh kind of your hand there. Boa going to come down, block, draw a card.
Notably not seeing many of the early 1-drop Law Blocker. That would feel pretty good to be able to pad your life while also playing these Gecko Morias to keep getting it back.
Well, it was good that he didn't have it incredibly early in this. Oh, and that is a 9-drop Newgate. Now, things are getting actually pretty intense here.
So it's an attack for 8k on the Teach.
6 on the Kuma, exactly what Dofi wanted.
Pacifista.
And Pacifista's going to come down. So now we've seen a reclaiming of the board by Doflamingo. Got 2 solid attackers, a blocker, but he is staring down Edward Newgate.
Edward Newgate, plus it's going to be difficult to attack in this turn.
Absolutely.
Newgate gives the 2k for the next turn as well.
A 10k attacker, not something to scoff at. And without access to the 1-drop blockers, you are not going to be able to chump block that.
You do have the Dofi there.
Yes.
The 3-drop Dofi as a blocker.
But Dofi a liability because you've already invested a lot of Dawn into it. It's your opponent putting 2k on their leader and being able to play effects like Otama or Gordon and reduce the cost or reduce the power of Doflamingo blocker, actually gaining some value there. Whereas if you just took those lines against the Trafalgar Law, it's a little bit of using your opponent's mana for them.
Okay, looks like we're rationing out mana to possibly do a Dofi attack here for 7 while also flipping from the top of the deck. Would make sense. You still know 1 card on the top of the deck, I believe.
2.
And here we are.
For 7 again. Very important use here.
Okay.
See another
Dofi.
Okay, so that's
Stack
the second
deck.
blocker we kind of needed. So.
Well, it is tapped, but yes.
Yes, but it is kind of a magnet for your opponent too.
True. Yeah.
And we see another. I believe that's Pacifista on the bottom of the deck. And at this point, we have to consider just bottoming these cards if it does not contain Mihawk.
Oh, absolutely. You're not going to have a whole lot of ways to deal with the Newgate on the board.
And Mo saying these are the cards that I need to get me out of this. When your opponent looks at top 5, does not bottom them, and they are a top 32 competitor after 9 rounds of Swiss day 1, you have to be a little intimidated.
Oh, definitely. Although Yidam is also, a top 32 competitor.
I mean, Yidam, an excellent player, probably putting his opponent on the exact 5 that's in there.
Gecko Moria attack in, counter out with a Nico Robbins.
Okay, and we're going to come across for 9 here. So
notably, all these attacks are quite large to get over the Newgate ability currently on the Luffy there.
True. Attacking up definitely impossible. Against Yadam's hand is a lot of cards. You dealt some damage to him, so he drew even more this turn.
We know 3 cards out of the hand of Yidam right now, and all 3 of those don't counter. That'd be the Zoro, the Rush Luffy, and the Radical Beam.
Which is actually why I really, really like this attack sequence, because you are kind of staring down a lot from the Luffy side. You know he has a couple rushers in his hand. Your life is at 4, so you are lacking some resources. You probably know your opponent's going to want to go towards your board this turn, and with a Newgate on the table, this might be the last time that you have to establish a board. So if you don't deal the damage now, you might not get the chance.
Yep. And we see Gordon minus on the Dofi blocker.
Yes.
Getting the Dawn attached to the 9-gate here.
Swing on the Pacifista. Free kill the Doflamingo blocker.
Blow it right up. All right, now we can decide if these Namis want to start getting in for attacks on some of the board here. You could attack down evenly with a 4K on the Dofa.
To replace the Gordon effect, too, is clutch. You're going to have the same ability next turn to continue to pressure every time you swing with your Newgate.
Looks like we're going 7K on the Gecko Moria, 2K over. I don't know if I see a level beam out of the hand of
Yeah,
Mo on that side.
I'm seeing it.
You
Yeah.
are seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there we go.
And
So
we are going to be able to draw a card from that.
beautiful.
Have exactly 3 in hand, so go to 4.
Beautiful. Perfect use of the love there. And then we attack on it again for another 7K with the leader.
Yep.
Got 1 Dawn left.
Okay.
Pitch 2 2Ks out,
Wow.
which I think Yadam is also
Boa
happy with.
Hancock is a 1K.
Oh, 1K, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, I'm not used to the alt art.
I know, yeah. Got the box topper editions there. Very nice. Okay, and we have some attacking back to do. So we definitely want to clear the Zoro this turn, or do you consider just going face with all the cards you have? Thinking, Yadam doesn't have any blockers. He has 1 Dawn open, representing a single Radical Beam. Newgate effect is gone, so he's back down to a 5K.
That is fair.
A couple of cards in his hand.
He does have 7 cards in hand.
Yes, and we are
It's a lot of cards.
we are aware of 2 of them at this point.
Yes.
Neither of them counter, so it's really 5.
Well, one of them does counter now. The other one's Dawn. 1 Dawn is open on Yadam's side with the Radical Beam, so we do have that 4K still lingering. So I don't think it's quite as easy to attack and go for a lethal here.
It is a little risky.
You can definitely try and pressure, which is fair.
Yes.
You probably want to attack with the Doflamingo anyways. You still know the deck stacked from your previous Doflamingo that came in last turn.
A very challenging situation for Mo, but, Doflamingo has gotten out of some corners before. Let's see how he's able to weave a comeback here.
If we can... Oh, going with the attack on the Zoro over there first, before the Dofi flips out to reveal what's going on, probably.
So I like this because your opponent is either going to be forced to spend resources to protect their Zoro, making them a little bit softer on the attack face if you choose to turn the corner there, or they just are going to recognize that, hey, you have the ability to go face, I need to protect myself this turn, and you might just get a very easy Zoro kill that you otherwise wouldn't have had.
That is true. We see here an attack on the Zoro for 6K. Notably, it's not flipping for the Doflamingo ability, not attacking for 2K over, which should be a little bit of a sign to Yadam that, hey, we're probably holding up a Dracula Mihawk 9-drop here, which would probably come down and put one of these Namis on the bottom.
Okay.
Notably,
That
can't
exact
target
thing.
the 9-drop Newgate. You do have the cost restriction of 7 on the Mihawk.
Yes, but that is an important card to get on the table if you're going to turn the corner. You
Absolutely.
were able to put your opponent to 1. Now you're establishing huge bodies that's going to be very hard for them to counter out of.
It's also a body that will now be able to attack back on the 9-drop Newgate, so it does pressure
If you
that
want
way.
to pressure the Newgate, yes, but what I really like about this is that Radical Beam is going to take you up to 9K. You would still need another card to get out of a Mihawk swing.
Yes, absolutely.
Without even putting Dawn on the Mihawk.
It's true. It looks like we got maybe a little bit of options here. I think I see Otama in the hand, so there is consideration for Otama to come down and minus on something so the Newgate can pop something again. So like the Dofi blocker there.
With Doflamingo's ability to restock the board, and now we're cruising into the moment of the game where he actually feels like he can play 9-cost Mihawks, when do you think Luffy needs to turn the corner and start going face?
It doesn't feel like it's yet, being at 1 life, and like we see in the hand, it's not a
Feels-
lot of counter power.
It feels really tough.
We do see just a straight leader attack for the 5K coming across in the Gecko Moria with, I think, 2 cards out of Mo there. Definitely a big cost to be able to protect this thing.
Yes.
I might just let this thing die, but it is tough. You have to consider, will my opponent be able to kill this Doflamingo blocker? If he is, then I'm down 1 less attack on the next turn, which is pretty painful. You also have to consider things like if there's an ability maybe to just play another 9-drop Newgate, which you would have lost on the leader ability power, but you do protect for the next turn with an extra 2K power on top.
Well, I think you let it go because you haven't seen any blockers out of your opponent, and really all of your Dawn is just going to go into your leader plus 1 character, so you only really need 1 character on the following turn.
Sure.
So you are going to have heavy pressure, and you actually still have 4 life. Your opponent's going to need to get 5 attacks across the table on you and not be able to counter out any of them in order to lose the game. So you have at least 2 more turns here.
Yeah. And we do see Mo also realizing that, hey, I need to protect my own life by countering out of the leader attack with the Nami there.
Just refusing to go below 4 here.
Which is...
I think smart.
I think it's pretty smart in the face of what you know to be the Rush Luffy coming into attack here. At some point, you're not going to be able to block this. You're going to have to start taking some life. So saying it'll be on this thing, hey, that's pretty good.
And 7 here are going to take him down.
No trigger effect, and coming
Down to
across to
3.
the new gate. At this point, you can consider throwing the Dofi in the way of the attack. It's definitely not bad, but I think you want to keep that around for future turns to help protect some life.
And Yadam, ever the expert, really, just asking the question, when do you turn the corner? And Yadam saying, well, this turn.
That is true.
This is when we do it.
That is true. So now we get to size up some attacks. No blockers from the side of the Luffy here. We do know Radical Beam is still in hand.
Yes.
So you do have to portion that one of these attacks definitely won't get through.
It's a little intimidating on Doflamingo's side now. You know that buffer of life you just lost. So you were thinking, hey, I'm gonna have time to attack my opponent down, but now it's kind of feeling like do or die.
Trying to look in the hand from Mo on that side.
We have a Gecko Moria, the 5K, the 6K.
Oh, I see. Okay, sure.
And I believe a Mihawk, the 4-cost Mihawk.
Definitely not bad. And the Mihawk's probably dedicated to counterpower at this point, but the Gecko Moria that gets something back is probably something that once they hit the board
We're still holding the Trafalgar Law as well, the 1-drop blocker.
Oh, we have 1-drop blocker.
Yes, we've been holding that for a few turns. Obviously, not something you want to just put on the table in the face of Newgate, who's swinging you for 12 every turn. And the control that Mo had just to, keep that in hand for a time where after you can clear Edward Newgate. This might be the time to do it, because that would actually increase his clock here and be able to survive additional turns, because if you're able to clear the Newgate, then you'll also be able to play down your 1-cost blocker safely. Now, the issue is Yadam has been representing a Radical Beam for a few turns now.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's actually held open one more than once. So if you swing on the 10K, he's going to go up to 14. 14 is something incredibly painful for you to overcome, even with your Mihawk. It's going to cost a lot of your efficiency for the turn. So being able to commit that much to get out of it, and on our side, we of course know that Yadam could probably get out of much higher than that.
Yeah, we saw Otama in hand at least, so another 2K on top of that.
Yes. And I believe a promo Luffy as well, so it's another 2K.
Sure. Okay, coming in for an attack on the Luffy, respecting that getting around his blockers could be quite good. 9 on 6 here, and we can Radical Beam to get out of this.
Yes.
Which is a complete save with 1 card.
But important to note, that is shields down for Luffy.
Yeah. Now
with 2 attackers, this could be the end of game 1.
It is possible. It is possible to ration out your attacks here. Go what? That'd be like a 9K and an 8K, or a 9K and a 10K. You could do.
Well, we're gonna come across for 8.
Still respecting the
Luffy again. Okay. All right. So not lights out for Yadam.
Yep.
Well, that was a lot of counter power in his hand too. So again, the control that these players have. 2 Mask Deuce
coming in to save the Luffy there.
That's right.
Also,
so
notably,
much counter power from both sides.
Yeah, notably not a use of the Dofi ability again.
Mask Deuce, a card really not seen before this weekend, I believe.
Not a lot.
It started cropping up like in random locals, but something players are really starting to test and feel out. An additional 2K in the red deck is feeling really nice, actually.
And Gecko Moria to get back another 3-drop Dofi from the graveyard. Pretty strong here. Adds another blocker that Newgate can't kill by itself. So adding some pressure in the way. You pressured the Luffy the entire way too, so we realized that killing that would have been very good to our plan, but we can at least let 1 attack go through with that.
Yes. Really like that Gecko Moria play. Okay, both players feeling very pressured on each other's turns. This is getting to be a really nail-biting game 1.
It's game 1. That's the scary thing here. We got 2 more possibly of these games.
These are top-level games for sure.
Look at the graveyard, make sure, hey, what else can you get back? What have you already used in 2Ks so far?
Yes. Players counting 2Ks is very important before you calculate your attacks. How
Absolutely.
many have your opponent already played? What are the odds that you have? The other ones that I possibly know that your deck plays.
And it's what, 3 cards out of Mo's hand, 4 cards in Mo's hand right now? I kind of forget.
Running smaller there.
Yeah.
We might see him fan it out. But we certainly see Yadam fanning his out, and that is
What's the event there?
stacked hand. That is a Jet Pistol.
Is a Jet Pistol?
Yes.
That is also pretty good. Jet Pistol can clear one of the blockers in the way.
We have Otama as well.
Yeah.
So if we want to get to Mo's life this turn, we absolutely can. We have the Luffy swing come through. We have Otama. We can Jet Pistol one of the blockers. Then we could Otama the blocker. Then 2 Dawn on the 9K, or sorry, on the 9 drop. And then that we're just swinging. We do have to touch life, and all of those that does cost a lot of Dawn.
It does.
So you really have to weigh your odds of actually getting through. But all Dawn tapped out, so we're not using events to counter out on Mo's side here.
I feel like I actually might prefer slightly doing that play, but using the new gate to attack back on the Mihawk with the 2 Dawn attached to be another 12K on a 9K.
If you can totally clear the board, I like that. Which you might leave him with Gecko Moria.
Yeah.
And then the 2 attacks there might just be enough to get through with no blockers.
It's true.
Again, being at 2 life, being down to 1 on Yadam's side means that any one character from Mo could just be lights out.
Okay. We do see the Otama come down minus a Dofy there, and then we attached on with the Luffy ability to our
first. That way, your 12K is just not being blocked. Okay, and you have.
Okay, we do take out the other Dofy, and then assuming we come in with the new gate, pop the 1 there.
Yep. Very nice.
And we are coming out life. We're going for the full swing this
turn.
turn.
We have to take that.
Yep.
But now down to 2 attackers, and both have to hit, which is kind of difficult to do. But we are going to get Luffy's ability, and this is leader Luffy ability.
We could have 3 attacks here. It is possible. We can go Luffy attack, leader attack, and then we can equip 3 Dawn to a Nami and attack.
Okay, now this is an 8K. Is this game 1? And we are. Oh, that was game 1. Okay. Player was not able to get out. He went to exactly 8K on that block.
Wow.
And that
was
an extremely tight game 1 from both players. Yadam able to take that. Wow.
Yeah, we see the power of Luffy there at the end being able to, with the leader Luffy that is, being able to attach 1 rested Dawn to the new gate, which meant that we had the 1 extra Dawn for the turn in general. Otherwise, that entire play would not have worked. We would not have had that 8K swing at the very end. So Luffy coming in with some amount of strength there.
Whew, man, those players are intimidating. That was tight on both sides. I really, for a moment, was like, Luffy definitely has this, and then Mo brought it back, and I was like, okay, that was so smart to just pressure Luffy on his lack of blockers.
Yeah.
And get through and say, hey, you keep wasting your time cleaning my board. Great, let's do that. I'll play a character untapped, and you can't kill it. And on the following turn, I'm going to pressure you down. And really, in deck construction, I think Yadam made a lot of good choices. Those Mass Deuce looking great. Coming down, being able to save his characters to continue the pressure the entire time. Saving that Luffy was clutch. And we looked at his hand. He really didn't lose much counter power out of it for having played the 2 Mass Deuce.
No, it was still pretty good.
A lot going on.
Yeah, so now we're going to be going into game 2 here. Reminder that it is best of 3. Since Mo lost round 1, it will be his choice whether he would like to go first or second. That is the rules of the tournament. Quick shuffle in, but back to, again, the start of another game. I would imagine it'll play out pretty similarly. You can make Luffy go first again. I think you want to be second with Dofy. I think that's fine here.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you the flexibility that if you don't find the 3-drop Dofy on your second turn, that you can at least have a 4-drop on your second turn.
The flexibility of Dofy is that you have good curves in either direction, right?
That's absolutely true.
You can go 1-drop Perona into 3-drop Doflamingo, or you can turn 2, attack with your leader, and use the ability, which is still really good, because that's usually going to net you your opponent taking the life, as well as gaining a 5K attacker, which, is a 4-drop, so you are being incredibly efficient on your Dawn, and that is the power of both of these decks. That is what they represent, is Dawn efficiency.
Yes. Mo's taking the mulligan here. I think it looks like Yadam is looking at his options. Does have Nami in hand to start, so that's always at least a good starting spot. It looks like he's satisfied with what's going on there. Also saw the rush Luffy, so pretty happy with that too in the matchup that has a lot of blockers. Quick shuffle, and let's see what we got going on. possibilities for Mo's side.
And judges instructing how to lay out their life. I believe that Mo did it a little bit backwards last time. No problem, though. He was actually taking the life correctly, but I think he just laid it out a little bit differently. So judge instructing, hey, do it this way instead.
Okay, Dofy is going first here.
And we see a Love Beam in hand, so that's going to help him out later. Okay, and 2 Don here, going to represent
the
Curly
Don.
to Dan, something we did not see in Game 1.
You do see Adam announcing 5. That is one of the rules of Curly to Don. You can look to up to 5, so you have to notate that it is 5 exactly.
Doing us a favor here at home, too, because just putting his 5
putting the 5
in
the hand.
You Dom the streamer.
It does look like he whiffed on his Dadan.
No problem.
Use the Luffy ability to attach a Don to Luffy. Very, very clutch. Saves a lot of things there, right?
Proving that you can still use the ability.
Yeah. Boa Hancock off the top of the deck. And we do take the life for 7k. That adds another Don to hand. Also adds a Nico Robin.
Okay, Boa Hancock on the table already. That's representing quite a bit. So, you Dom, certainly not averse to just dealing with every character that Doflamingo puts on the table. So we'll see if he has a problem clearing this one.
Looks like we're going to Nami first, see what the options are out of our deck to help us kind of figure out what we want to do with the rest of the turn and the turns in the future.
I believe the only option is 5 cost there.
That would be a little bit unfortunate, but it is fine. With 1/5 cost in hand, it's fine.
The late game blockers that Doflamingo's able to put back his hand with Gecko Moria. I think sitting on a 5 cost Luffy is quite powerful. Representing it early in this game's got to be intimidating for the rest of the game. So we could see that card actually just winning the game from a Nami that happened very early on.
Very true. We did see the Luffy come across for a total of 9k, really respecting the Boa Hancock, say, hey, I'd like this deck, please. I've added to my board. I would like to take away your board.
I feel like you kind of have to do that, though.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
If they're able to protect it profitably, it costs them, only 2 cards, they probably would do that because Boa Hancock could easily just gain those cards back through the course of the game. And you really have to keep Dofy's board clear or else it can just get out of hand for you.
Okay, we did see Gecko Moria come down on Mo's side. The
Jet Pistol on the
Jet
Gecko
Pistol
Moria.
is pretty punishing for that.
Wow, the set 1 answers to the set 2 buffs.
We are equipping to Dadan, so we have an attack for 5.
Okay, we see discarded Kuma there. And a second Kuma discarded. Wow, okay.
And Chopper.
A card I would really respect on the table in this game, and just Mo having the discipline to know that, hey, this is okay to discard.
Let's see if we can see any options out of Mo here. Oh,
7 cost.
That's pretty good.
Put the blocker back on the table, swing on the Curly. That is going to be quite the board clear here.
That is a tempo swing for sure.
I like that, A lot of rushers out of Luffy, so and a lot of searchers too. 7 cost Dofy's not having the same impact that it has in other colored matchups. And seeing that put a Chopper back in hand, which represents Luffy needing to spend 1 more Don. It's no counterpower out of hand. That might be one of the best targets in Luffy's entire deck.
That's actually fair. Considering options, looks like we got a couple Makinos, we have a Nico Robbins we could be playing on, another Dadan, or we have both of these 5-drop Luffys just chilling in hand still. We do notably want to play something probably before we attack here. We want to make sure we can equip a rested Don with our Luffy leader ability.
You Don just considering all of the sequencing options here. And we have 4 Don rested.
For Uda.
Ooh, okay. Get back the Curly to Dan. That is some efficiency. Oh,
it's a lot of.
It's so beautiful to watch.
Wow. Play the Dadan.
It is absolutely not surprising to see Luffy in the top 32 here with plays like that.
Notably,
and whiffed again. That's the second time.
That is the second time. That's pretty unfortunate.
Wow.
Notably, we do want to do the Uda play before, since we did have another Dadan in hand. We could have just done that first, but doing the Uda play doesn't give our opponent the information that, hey, we still have a Dadan in hand.
No, it's great. The Uda play was beautiful. Yeah, your Uda's not changing the math on any attacks. Your opponent doesn't know what you're representing. Getting back Curly to Dan, just playing it out instantly, and then whiffing too. Your opponent has even less information.
We did see Makino come down,
Okay.
Doflamingo, and the Chopper back once more.
And Doflamingo saying, hey, I think that Chopper looks familiar.
I feel like this is a play of Yadam trying to go a little bit wide in the face of what could be maybe a Mihawk coming in. An attack from Dofi's side on the Makino.
5 on Makino. Okay. That 5 could have went on the Nami too, so the Makino very much more effective here.
I think there's going to be a plethora of 1-drops in the
Yes.
from Yadam's side, so I think it's quite good.
This
to
slows
get rid
it
of that.
down quite a bit, yes. Makino, an incredible addition to the red package.
And there is the Mihawk, putting Uda back on the bottom of the
Okay.
deck.
And we are seeing a very different game play out, where Doflamingo has still board control.
Yep.
After
And notably, after going
the first quarter of the game.
Yeah, notably after going wide there, like we
Yes.
said, in the face of Mihawk, we didn't have one of our Luffys put on the bottom of the deck. Instead, we had an Uda, and we
Okay.
already got value from it on the ETB. It's fine.
Protecting the Doflamingo is huge there. Down to 1 card, though.
To see the Rush Luffy that we knew about,
5, and this is...
and we
this
can do another 7K, or we could
should
go
just
higher.
be a 7K attack on the Doflamingo.
If he does say, Yudam could say, hey, I'd like this dead, please, and equip more Dawn.
He absolutely could put 1 more on it, or 2 more on it. But I think his opponent might have shown his hand a little bit. Not literally, but when he quickly reached for it, I think that might have been some sort of tell.
Sure.
But we'll see. If he's not going to spend the Dawn on anything else, I
There
think
we
it's
go.
certainly right to confirm
Oh.
kill.
Uh.
How important is it to you to
Oh.
remove the Doflamingo?
We say,
Swinging
do
8?
you have a 2K?
Yes, I would like to see a 2K from you.
Okay, and the Dofi is down. Now we can play either the Dawn, we can hold up Radical Beam, we could play, no, the Dawn seems fine.
Third Curly, will we hit a card?
Announces 5.
Give us 1, please.
I think I saw an Otama at the
Yes.
beginning of the end.
And
There's also
a Gordon.
Okay,
Okay.
both are good.
Those are really good pickups.
Yep.
Certainly you want the Otama here. It's going to represent a 2K and a very powerful ability. Gordon doing a very similar thing, but certainly not a 2K in your hand. Wow. Curly finally hitting.
And we see the resource of not attacking your opponent's life from Yudam onto Mo, that he doesn't have many cards in hand.
Feeling strangled on Doflamingo's side here. And, a very wide board from Luffy. So, kind of card quality on the Luffy side is a little bit lower.
Mhm.
But you know what? With no cards in hand, 5K attackers look very similar to 7K attackers.
That is true, actually. We can consider a couple things here. We can consider Dofi attack and try and blind flip something else with a 7K. It'd be cool. With 7K attack, that is.
It will be difficult for Mo to attack with his Mihawk this turn.
I think so.
Just because he knows that if he does swing with it, he's most likely losing it also. So I think respecting that and saying, hey, this is a Mihawk-sized attack from my leader. Gecko Moria going to swing the game right back for him.
So Dofi attacking on the Luffy, pressuring it down.
Jinbei. Okay.
Gecko Moria flipped blind off the top of the deck is so good. Adds to the board for the Gecko Moria, and then also adds back.
Certainly heard the crowd here
Jinbei.
gathered watching the feature match. Ooh, after that one.
Yeah, we did hear that. Discards
Okay.
2 cards, protect the Luffy there.
All right, but
From
that
the Mihawk attack.
that represents a lot of resources out of Yadam's hand there.
And just a pass.
Okay. 4 Dawn open, so we're holding Love Beam. And we have the ability to love.
That is a possibility.
That's 4 loves.
And 2 beams. Attack for 6 on the Gecko Moria is what it looks like there.
Okay, we're going to drop the Gecko Moria.
Gecko down.
Very tight attacks here from Yadam's side.
Can you pressure down the Mihawk? I think you can. I think you are actually possibly
I
afforded
think you are looking to pressure down the Mihawk 100%. He agrees.
Yep. There we go.
Here we go.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 it looks like. It's 5K over, so there'd be a love plus 2K maybe?
That is a big attack here.
No,
But
love
we-
plus 2K doesn't even get you out of it. Oh no.
Well, we are representing, love plus another love.
Yeah, well,
On the
it
Dawn
is
side.
true.
On the Dawn side of things.
Love would draw another cards. We would have more options here. Considering if I love here, is it worth it? And it looks like, yeah. Love, draw the card.
That's going to take him to 13, up to 15.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 was the attack, I guess?
Yes, and we got out for
15.
Oh,
okay. Yep,
yeah,
all
we
right.
went to 15.
Okay. Yeah, I miscounted.
Okay. All right.
And still holding the 1 Dawn open from the Luffy side to be able to Radical Beam out attacks here.
Yes, but we were going to go.
The Mihawk said, "No, I'm going to kill you, Luffy."
We're going to go 11K here at the Luffy. It's going to require a Radical Beam. Oh, actually, you're at 2, so I believe Radical Beam's only countering for 2 right now.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, I believe that happens when you go to one life. So Radical Beam, not enough.
It's a pretty big attack on the Luffy. You might have to let it go, especially.
A very big attack.
You do have a second Luffy in hand, so
a lot of cards.
you have the ability to
we
still
are going to
play
Radical
something.
Beam. Okay. Maybe I misread.
I think it's 2 or less life.
Probably.
I think it's not
yeah.
less than 2. I think it's 2 or less.
Yes.
So it does equal 2 as well.
Makes a lot of sense. Two or less, yes, correct. Sorry about that.
And Dofy off the top of the deck from the Dofy attack. Looking at a couple things, looks like we saw two blocker laws in there, the 1-drop blocker laws. Alvida in there, Gecko Moria. Options of, is this good enough to be on top of my deck? I will be drawing these cards, so yep, I think so. I would agree. The 1-drop blocker law is pretty good, especially when there's no new gate from the opponent's side this time around.
Yes.
Still have the Luffy that can get around it, but you can manage a couple attacks in your life. You'd be all right with that.
You still have the Jinbei in hand as well.
Countering out of the attack.
Okay. Now you're down to 2 cards. One of them being Otama, though, so that's going to open up a lot of lines.
So it's Otama plus Luffy. So these Luffys do have to start connecting pretty soon here. And the Jinbei is out. All right. Was that a 9-drop you just drew?
I could not tell.
I think it might have been, which is a pretty good play this turn, honestly.
Yes.
Oh boy.
All right. And with that, Otama, those are exactly the kinds of lines that we were talking about opening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not even looking at it, though.
Not
saying
it,
this
though.
Mihawk needs to die.
Yes. We have pressured it for a couple of turns now, but it is pressuring me back, and I need to get rid of it. Okay. And Mo
with
really
2
haven't
cards.
considered blocking that. Or, sorry, countering out of that.
And the Mihawk is finally down. Luffy has won the battle.
Yes.
Attack for 5k on the Dofy that was tapped. And we've got another
Luffy coming down. And
use our leader ability to attach to the Dawn, add another one.
We should see some attacks on life right now.
Yep. Starting to utilize these characters that have been sitting on the board, not attacking so far.
Definitely going to need to put our opponent down to 3 this turn. And then for the next turn, we are looking to just kill them.
All right.
Okay. Now Dofy absolutely does not have the board, needs to reclaim a kill on both Luffys in order to protect themselves on the following turn. It's going to be kind of tough. You don't have a lot of Dawn, and so these attacks to confirm kills on Luffy will also mean that you're just not able to establish much of a board.
Another Jinbei is cool. Still known from the Doflamingo that came in last turn. And going in for another Jinbei attack on the Luffy there. And we do see the Law.
Dropping Blocker Law, still representing the other level of beam that you've represented for a couple of turns now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The Law does mess up the math a little bit here. You can't just go in for a bunch of attacks this turn on life.
Yes, correct. But it is a good spot for you to trap 9 gate.
Yep. Comes down, buffs the Luffy. And now we can consider, what are we attacking?
Go 8k on Jinbei.
That's 7k.
Yes, correct, 7k.
And then it is probably an attach of the Luffy Dawn plus the Dawn we have left on the Dawn. A lot of Dawns. Dawn.
Curly to Dan.
The Dan.
Yes.
That's probably better.
That is the the character on the card. Is
I
the
said
man.
Don like 2 times, and it just messed me up, man.
It's okay. I've said love hundreds of times.
Literally hundreds. All right, attack on the Jinbei. Do we actually want to counter out of it? Yeah. We'll discard Jinbei, and we can keep the Jinbei on the table. That's a pretty good trade.
Okay, we're able to keep both Jinbeis on the table this turn, so that is going to pressure the Curly Dedan back. And we have a bit of a board established. It is staring at a 9-gate. That is kind of rough, but you have more life than your opponent, so you are, feeling like you can survive for a couple more turns.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a healthy piece of how you're going to recuperate your board.
All right, attaching 2 there. Oh, taking it back and doing it again. Doing the hokey pokey with the Don there, looks like. And we take it back out. Okay. And that's what it's all about, everybody.
Dad jokes all around. All right, seeing a Piranha in hand.
3. All right, we'll go for 3.
Okay. And 3 here again.
Yep. Looks like going to life, attaching the Don prior to the attack.
We
so
are
we don't,
trying to play around Jet Pistol.
yeah, we don't trigger the event.
Very good. And it is time to go face. Is a 7 going to get through?
Looks like that one is.
Will a 7 get through? How about a 9? What are we thinking about 9K? You think it gets through?
So
Let's ask you, Dom.
You are still 7K from the new gate, so
that will
2
take
discards
him to
get
9K,
you out.
and that.
And it looks like Mo.
with the
looks
new
like
gate.
Mo also thought
Correct. With
that
the new gate, yes.
he had got that there. That is unfortunate. If
Yes. 7 was an even swing. 7 was an even swing. And 9 was only 2K higher. Power of 9 gate there.
Mm-hmm.
Literally saving you, Dom. Okay. Now can he win on the swing back?
This is not easy to
Going
get
to
through.
be very difficult to do that.
You have 5 attacks, but you would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to make the Nami and the Don split attack.
Unfortunately, if you can't do it, you need to be able to protect yourself from a 15K attack on the following turn.
Yeah. Looks like I see 2 Namis in hand plus a Radical Beam. Probably not going to be able to get out of all those. Oh, Red Hawk, I'm sorry.
Red Hawk representing 4K counter. Okay. Picked up another 2K. That's going to help you out. Trading the 1K counter for a 2K counter. Really trying to beef up your defenses here. We can take our leader.
Well, you're also
9K,
using a Don.
11K.
You're also using a Don that the Luffy ability can use to
Correct.
attach to something.
Yes,
so
you're not
it is
losing
pretty
anything,
free.
But you are trading the 1K in your hand to try and get a Radical Beam, get something else.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very important steps here. Because Yadam recognizing if I can't kill my opponent, I have to counter out a 15K.
Counting out the numbers, trying to figure out the
Untapped
math.
the Don that he had tapped for the Nami because he's using the leader ability in order to equip enough Don to something. Let's see where it's going to go. And I believe he's just doing math here.
Yeah, there's 3 cards in Mo's hand right now, it looks like. I'm sorry, is that 4 cards? Tough to tell. It looks like 4, actually. So with 4 cards, plus the 3 can come from life. That would be 7 total cards that could possibly be used against you in your attacks. You need to get through 4 times with these 5 attacks. So he only has to get out of 2 of them. And it seems like you'd have to swing pretty evenly with the Dodons and the Namis to make them even attacks in the first place. So seems like we're not killing this turn. But we'll try to get lower, I'm sure. So attack for 6K.
That is an attack for 7.
Oh, 7. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes. 7, I would assume it is at the leader, but we will
I think we take this
find out.
attack. You can counter out, which is fine, but you'd rather your opponent commit more resources.
Yes. But is it going at the Jinbei or the leader?
We didn't see point, so if they said it verbally, that's one thing, but I assume it would be at the leader here. You're not winning if you have just the leader coming at you next turn anyways, so.
Yes. So it is going to be a take from Mo's side. We're going to swing for a 7K again.
Luffy.
With our leader. Will we get through? We will take
another one. Okay.
And we may be going to game 3 here. That is that is an attack for 7K again.
And
That
out.
gets us out.
The new gate comes
and
in.
That is going to take us straight into game 3 there.
Yeah.
Yes, he and Yadam just conceding for time.
That sounds like a good
important. All right, we are going to go to game 3.
Game
that
3,
was
baby.
so tight. Oh man, these players are just duking it out right now. Oh man, the efficiency from both sides, it's crazy the math they're having to do all day yesterday to get to this point.
Yeah.
And then in top 32, just going at it like who can process better, who's going to have the correct lines against you. Oh, it's so cool.
What really swung that game there was Yadam's hand had the two Luffys that were a little
There
awkward.
was a lot of early pressure from Doflamingo's side. He was not pressured by Yadam quite as effectively as he was in the first game. And then we saw, a relatively clear board when the 7 cost came down to put the chopper back in hand. We were not looking for very much there. So we had the 7 cost, Dofi. And then the turn next, we had 9 cost Mihawk on curve. Again, not being pressured by Luffy here.
Yeah.
And that was the early establishment that he needed to keep the pressure up for the rest of the game. So, Luffy just could not actually ever really control the board. So you were pressured all the time. And it was very hard for you to get in that position where you just have overwhelming attacks on Dofi.
I think I agree with that. Definitely of note that all of those early plays from Yadam added a lot of cards to hand, but didn't add a lot of attacking power to the board. I think is pretty important. All right, and looks like players are trying to play a little fast. I think we're getting a little bit late on time. Definitely want to make sure that we don't have to go to overtime.
Yes, they will be playing a little bit faster this game, I have to imagine.
Both players took the mulligan, it seems.
Now, one of the tiebreaker conditions is going to be cards remaining in deck. So, I think in game 3, Doflamingo is a little bit advantaged. We should see Yadam reshuffle here and just another cut after accidentally dropping a card.
Okay. Counting out, counting for life. Here we go.
Okay.
It is game time. It would be Yadam's choice whether he'd like to go first or second, since he lost game 2. A hand of what seems to be an event, double Luffy, and 9 gate. Oh, is that double Luffy? It was Luffy plus starter Luffy.
Promo Luffy.
Yeah. Oh, promo Luffy, sorry.
Yes, it is a 2K counter.
So not the best hand.
And
Uda's an okay.
Uda's a good pickup.
Uda's an okay draw.
I like that.
There's nothing in the graveyard to get back with it, but yeah.
Well, yes, but there will be a chopper there very shortly.
Yeah.
So you will be able to stumble the bigger attackers from Doflamingo. And that could give you the bandwidth you need to be able to win.
5K across and saying, hey, I'm committing to the board.
Okay, we are establishing attackers today. That is a 2K regularly, but in game 3 of your top 32 match, it is an attacker against Doflamingo.
Yeah, sometimes your hand doesn't allow anything else.
That is flexibility out of that
Nami
card.
added from life, which was pretty good there.
Okay.
Definitely gives you a card to play this turn while also adding something else.
All right. Okay, and a Nami pickup there. Very nice. We're holding Makino, Nami, 9 gate, 5 cost Rush Luffy, an Uda, and a Radical Beam, and a Makino. Nami comes down. Looking at Nico Robin, a card we considered last game. And another promo Luffy.
Another promo Luffy coming in, sure.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. Another attacker if you want to go that route again. Also just establishing more 2Ks in your hand. I really like that.
I think establishing 2Ks is pretty important here. With the 3 cards that don't counter out by themselves just by discarding. You're going to need to do something about that. You can play the Uda on the board, that's fine. Doesn't have a lot of value, but it's okay. You can also just portion out some attacks and say, hey, I'm going to pressure you early here and force you to answer.
5K your face. Most likely you'll take this. But, recognizing the importance of protecting your life, certainly we are considering to counter out. Pacifista comes down.
Sure.
Keeping you at 5 life. Or 4, actually.
Attaching Tudon to the starter Luffy.
And this
Notably,
is an attack for 7k right now.
Yeah. Notably, that Luffy has the ability that when Tudon is equipped to it, the character
counter
gains
out with a 2k
plus another 2.
Mihawk, and I believe that was Bo Hancock. Could be wrong about the second card there. Can't quite see it. And we see another
the Luffy's coming out.
Luffy come down.
He really did say, how many Luffys can I put in one deck? I'm going to play the leader. I'm going to stack
Luffy,
more.
And he is attacking with himself. Okay. And
Gecko
now we're
Mori
needing
at the top
to
there.
contest
Pretty
that.
Good.
You know, it does die easily on the crackback, which that's actually pretty good. So we're going to go 5k leader at the 3k Luffy there. And we should
Probably
see
going to
him
let that
just
go.
drop this because, you know, it has kind of already gotten its value. It's gotten an attack, big attack and got 2 cards out of its opponent. And Jinbei going to come across the table.
Taking one, adding another to hand. Makes sense.
Gecko Moria for the Draco
the
Mihawk
Mihawk.
pickup. That's pretty good. That is another 2k in hand.
Yes. While adding to the board.
This is such a slog for both players.
Zoro added to hand, it looks like there? Or was that a Master Dusk?
We will.
Yeah,
Certainly
we'll
we'll get
have to see in a
another
second.
look.
Yeah.
Yep. That was Zoro pickup.
Yeah.
Okay, 5k at the Jinbei, and Jinbei just gonna eat it.
Down.
All right.
Put the starter Luffy on the bottom of the deck.
When it
The Jinbei
dies,
ability.
of course, gets to put that promo Luffy on the bottom.
And now we can options. Zoro
coming down. Okay, this is gonna pressure your opponent's life. You're really trying to take them down to 3 life here.
And
And
Uda
Uda
gets back the Luffy.
grabbing promo Luffy back. That is cool. Both players absolutely just slogging through 2Ks and just getting them back in hand. It's really actually, Gecko Moria is like one of my favorite blue cards, and to see you know, the absolute mirror to that, Uda being played on the table, being able to do the exact same thing and pick up almost the same card. I mean, that is really cool.
Yeah. Dofy coming across for 5k on the Zoro, using the chopper to block. Makes sense. Gecko Moria could come across, but then you're committing the Gecko Moria to an attack, which it can be attacked back.
And we're going to 7 on the Zoro. Pressuring the 2Ks that we have in hand. And I think we're just going to have to take that. Our hand does not line up super well with countering out of that attack. Jinbei comes down.
And holding up the Love Beam again. We are prepared.
Jinbei has been an impressive card in this game 3. Being able to, hey, I'm an attacker, and because you need to control my board, when you do so, you're going to be able to, I'm cleaning up your board a little bit too. So,
yeah.
Very nice here.
Super cool play here. We saw the 9-gate come down, buff the leader, but then the Luffy ability can attach that one Don to the Udo to still let it attack on the Gecko Moria there.
Yes.
Even though.
And this is an even attack for 5k on the Gecko Moria. I believe we have 4 cards in hand on most side, and we are going to counter out.
If you're countering out of this attack, I think you're pricing yourself into countering out of the next attack as well.
Yes,
when the
and
Luffy
I think
comes
he has to
across
consider that, and
So-
I do believe that's actually what he just considered.
Yeah.
So, and also if you don't counter out, your opponent either wastes their attack with their leader or goes face, which I actually think that you may be in a situation where you want to look for 9-cost Mihawk in order to really pressure the new gate back when it starts attacking you.
Looks
So
like
you're kind of looking for a specific card here.
Looks like we're going to see Jinbei come in at the Uda here.
And that is a 5k on the 4k there. It's going to require 1 2k to get out, which actually may be worth it, or it's just too much done investment in order to make that an attacker, so we just lose it.
Okay, that one dealt with. We can either establish something like a Mihawk this turn, put the Nami on the bottom, would be okay. Something big to attack back with. Could also decide that we can blind flip with the Dofy ability and play like a 4-drop. Still would be holding up the Love Beam then. Instead attaching 3 Don and flipping out a Boa Hancock.
Boa Hancock. I believe that was another blind Dofy flip.
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Gecko Moria
sometimes you got to get lucky. Gecko Moria, very nice, getting back the Mihawk. Still
Mihawk
got
there.
that. Still holding up the 2 Don.
Boa Hancock, a very impressive flip off the deck, too. That is actually probably going to demand an attack from the Luffy. And exactly that.
Yep.
Newgate has to come down and take care of that Boa Hancock. It is very problematic going into the end of the game here.
And
Whoa, that is big. Okay, it is a game now.
Yep. We're attaching 7k coming across with the Newgate ability on
Yes.
the Jinbei. Countering out with a
two
Mihawk.
cards to get rid of it. Yes, I mean, you are going to need to pressure your opponent here. Ooh, that second 9-gate was massive. Okay. Did not quite see the pickup for the turn. We are holding one Love Beam.
Yeah, we've been holding that open for
Yep.
about 2 turns now, so that makes sense.
Really considering what is the play here. We know we have 7-cost Doflamingo in hand. I don't think that's quite enough to pressure the Edward Newgate's back. It's really going to have to be something like 9-cost Mihawk, or some sequence of attacks that really pressure your opponent's life total. And them holding 2 Radical Beam, a Luffy, and a Red Hawk. That is an impressive hand. Wow. Okay.
How's this Don going to fly out here?
We are doing a ton of Don math at the moment.
Looks like an attack for 8k plus using the Dofi ability to hopefully flip.
Okay, missed. And that was a prone on top.
Yep. Notably, 2k gets out of it here with the Newgate ability still into the turn.
And 7 coming across at leader. Of course, I'm just taking that. 7k coming across at leader. And we are going to get out of that attack.
It's one less Don you have to hold up on future turns with these events, so I can understand wanting to use the Radical Beam here.
Yeah.
A Gordon for the turn. Very nice. Go 5 bay, 5 attack on the Jinbei.
5 bay for sure.
5 bay, yeah, 5 bay is the card. Now we have options with the Luffy's in hand here. We could use these. We could start to pressure life with them.
No blockers yet, so really the Dawn investment to put the Luffy on the table is a big consideration.
Mm-hmm. We see the Nami go away with the Jinbei ability.
Yes, and that's important because right now that's representing less attackers from Luffy.
Coming in, yeah, I think we'll just take this one. That's fine.
Yes, I think you have to.
I don't think you're getting out of it.
That is a wide-bodied Newgate. Okay, and we are going to swing for 8k here, or that is 9. That is an attack for 9.
9.
Putting our opponent at absolutely 1 life here. Yeah. Okay, wow, really respecting him.
Well, when so much of the end game comes down to blockers, Luffy just says, hey, I don't care about those and can get through. You do have to worry about it yourself.
Keeping yourself above. Okay. And needing to over-counter there by quite a bit in order to use the ability of Lovelum.
Yeah, it was a bit of a cycle through the hand. You can discard that extra card to then draw a card.
Yes.
So you just turn one card into another, which is a nice ability when your hand's not working quite the way you want it to.
This is quite a lot to stare down in Game 3 of Top 32. 2 9-gates, a Luffy, and an opponent who is at 2 life with absolutely 0 board at the start of your turn.
Yeah. And
this is critical.
And I'm still holding up 3 Dons, so
yes.
Mo definitely knows that, hey, I can't get it across for many attacks at this point.
This is so much. Now, Leader Luffy back down to 5k this turn. Important to note. But, with 2 life, there is really nothing that blue can represent that will kill Luffy. You can at most get rid of 1 of the Newgates. You could, set up some blockers here.
You can't play a lot of the 1-drop law blockers because they will just get blown up by the Newgate ability.
No, you can't. But 3 costs certainly can.
3 costs can get away with it, so long as Otama's not in hand.
I mean, I think those are risks you just have to take.
Yeah, I think so. This is one of the best cards here is the 3-drop blocker. And there is a Gordon in hand from the Udom side, so that is probably going to be the consideration for the play.
And this is big for Mo. You get to know the next 5 cards of your deck, so you really are able to sequence an entire game plan here. And so these are the critical moments for you to really figure out what is my plan to win, how do I get out of this, and when I'm looking at the top 5 cards there, I have to be able to answer that question right now. What is the sequence of play that will dig me out of this? And it is really, in these moments where most Doflamingo players would not have that answer, making it to top 32 means that you absolutely solved that riddle the day before, and I think Mo might be able to pull it out. We'll see. Gecko Moria, certainly,
Certainly.
one of the steps to solving that problem. Gecko Moria.
Getting a Mihawk back, adding the 2K.
And Red Hawk coming down to take out the Doflamingo. That is brutal.
Wow.
That Red Hawk was so massive. Wow.
Okay. Well, we do have a bit of a hand from the Mo side here.
No blockers though. 2 life and 4 attackers. This is.
He also doesn't know about the other Rush Luffy in hand.
Yes. Well, 2 of the attackers are 10K. So if you at the moment where you let the 7K through, suddenly I don't have enough cards in hand to even protect against the 2 new gates. Wow, that is so strong.
You have to pitch out of it, so it's just, all right.
Okay,
well,
wow, okay, so now 2 10Ks coming across.
It'll be an 11K. We'll play around
an
level
11K.
Yeah.
And we're going down. That is so much to get out of. Leader for 5, just see what you can do.
Yep.
That's probably going to net a 2K out of his hand.
Perona.
Gets a Perona that we saw him draw. And that is a massive attack here.
Yeah, an amount of Dawn that I can't even count.
Can we get out of that?
That
is an attack for 18K.
Yeah, 18. There we go.
18K?
So let's see what we can pitch. Counting.
Mo counting out of that. Alvita.
That's a total of
draw card. Perona.
Oh,
that is game.
So close.
So close. Wow. That is a crazy set of games. Whoa. Okay, that was an incredible series of plays. Jesus, that was fun to watch.
A lot of close matches there, too. A lot of came down to just the few last cards out of Doflamingo when you dominate.
And what I think really what we were seeing was just, that was the fruition of 2 players who were incredibly intelligent the entire series, always keeping their eye on exactly how do I win the game. And, I mean, really that looked like a game of chess to me. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, definitely a fun one to watch. Well, that was just top 32. We have so many more games for you guys today. Please stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, like, and we will see you very shortly for top 16.
It's exciting stuff.
Thanks, guys.